If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This one-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life.
Hey guys, so I was looking at this episode number. It's episode 171, which is insane because I realized it's been 1 year since I started this podcast. So 171 episodes in a single year is a little bit insane, but I just really wanted to give you tons of information and be able to give it to you guys in, bite-sized pieces. So we do have a shorter podcast here. But one thing I'll just say, when I was about to get started, my idea was to do 5 episodes a week. And someone quickly talked me out of it. Now, could I have done it? I think I could have handled it. But I think 3 has been more manageable. They thought 3 was a little insane as well. They were like, most podcasts are once a week, Carina. And I said, well, I really want to give a ton of information, and I really want it to be digestible and quick and fast, and I hope that's what we've done for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast and you've gotten lots of tidbits about design and that you're just moving forward as a designer, because that's really what I want for you, that you're implementing and moving forward, staying motivated, and, building yourself up as a designer. So today I want to talk about building resilience as a designer. And, a lot of times when I taught at the university, it was about, having a thick skin. And that's really hard, especially to tell 18 to 22-year-olds that we've got to build a thick skin. The crazy thing is, I thought it was going to be harder to tell 18 to 21 or 22-year-olds to do this, but I actually find it's much harder to tell 30 to 65-year-olds that they have to build a thick skin, which is what I have to do in my Design Suite program. And one of the things that is so hard is, especially I think when we're starting something new a little bit later in life, it is harder to hear criticism. It's harder to hear that you're not doing something perfectly because you feel as if you should already have this thing down. You should already know how to do this thing. And the truth is, it's like we're an 18-year-old. We're brand new to design. We're brand new to figuring this out. And so we have to slowly but surely develop a thick skin and let things roll off our back. Now, I'm not saying completely ignoring criticism, but I remember like those early days as a designer and not getting things right. In fact, my husband tells a story. He was in our squad meetings one week because he was substituting. And our squad meetings, by the way, is our peer groups in Design Suite. So we have a moderator in there. And my husband was moderating it this one particular time. And he told everyone the story of the first scrapbooking collection that I designed. I had no mentor at the time. I just finished my Ph.D. I knew a lot about design, but I didn't understand the market. And he was telling him how ugly it was. It was really, really awful. And I overheard him telling this to Design Suite. And, I think a lot of people would have been upset by it. But I was actually quite pleased with the story because I don't know that he ever really told me straight out that it was ugly, but looking back on it, I'm mortified that I created such a line. And I hopped on one of the calls with him because he was telling him, and I said, here's the thing, you guys, this should give you a lot of hope because it means you're going to get better. And you can make lots of money doing this. And it doesn't matter that your first collection was just that bad, okay? And this is even after lots and lots of training and as a teacher, a professor at a university producing a line, because I didn't understand the marketplaces. And that's how I know, like, we even have a lot of students in Design Suite who were graphic design students that we know we still have to coach them and get them to a place where they're producing great artwork for our industry. And that's really an interesting thing about even the resilience piece of it, because we'll get people who are graphic designers and are like, I know this, I understand this, even Design on Fire, which is one of our foundational courses, like, I understand this stuff. But it's not until you actually start designing for the industry and creating surface patterns in fabric or SVGs for your silhouette and Cricut machine that you start to really hone in on what the marketplace wants, what is beautiful for that marketplace. It's just a really interesting transition, and it requires quite a bit of resilience. So I really hope that you can build a thicker skin, and so much of it is just getting used to hearing negative critiques on your work, because, by the way, you need to be separating yourself from the work. The work is the work. You are you. If there's a negative criticism that comes in about the work, it has nothing to do with you. You're just going to say, I'm going to get better from that, right? That's what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, that wasn't that good. It's time to level up and do something a little bit better. I know that's the way I look at it, and it served me very, very well. All right, you guys, hopefully this has helped you. Those of you who are still working on building a thicker skin, guess what? You can build it. And it doesn't mean that you won't feel something once in a while when someone makes a criticism of you. That is just normal human behavior, right? If someone criticizes me about something, it might hurt my feelings. And I've got to be okay with that. But it's how we sit in it. If you sit in that criticism and it makes it so that I had a friend who said that, they got all this criticism from a video they made, and so they stopped making videos. That's the wrong way to think about it, right? If you get a criticism about design and it means you just stop designing, that's the wrong way to think about it, right? The resilient part is, well, I'm going to do better next time, right? I'm going to create a better design this time. And that's what I want you to do. So, guys, get good. Keep building. Keep designing. I know you can. And start to really build that resilience.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.